Good afternoon. It is June 22nd, right? Yeah. No, June 21st.
21st.
And
First,
it's 3 p.m. I want to call to order the June meeting of the Board of Fire Commissioners for the City of Norwalk. We have a quorum with Commissioner DeStrews, Mayor Rick. First item on the agenda, acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting on May 17th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, any corrections, deletions, additions?
None. Well, a couple of typos, but let's see. Hold on, I lost it. In one of them on page 4, training division report, Deputy Chief Markowitz presented his report.
Okay.
And right above that, the firework display is scheduled, past tense or scheduled.
Okay. So noted. Any other corrections, deletions, omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I see we have our new Human Resource Director here, Tina Fogel. Gentlemen, if you hadn't had a chance to meet Tina, here she is in
We have not.
color.
Hey, everyone. Gino had mentioned, Chief had mentioned, and I know there's nothing really on the agenda today for me to kind of weigh in on, but I just thought I'd make an appearance and say hello and just introduce myself.
hi, Tina.
So hi,
Aye, welcome.
thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Item number 3, there are no action items. Item 4, the fire chief's report. Chief? I think we lost the chief. Oh, there he is. Chief, item number 4, your budget report.
Okay, everybody's audio was freezing up, so I don't know if it's my little iPad here, but hopefully you can hear me all right.
Can hear you.
So obviously we're into 11 months of the year. And if you look at our larger account, the firefighting account, our salary account is 83% and our overtime is 92%, which we've been speaking about now for the last few months, is continually to get higher. But the good news is we'll be doing some adjustments through the salary account, and we should be all right by the end of next month. The bad news is June has 5 pay periods in it, so it'll be a little bit higher than what's been the average lately. And the overall budget, we're still at 87.9%. So we should be under 100% next month. And want to talk
Freezing up again,
about
Chief.
the difference between last year and this. 77. Sorry.
Chief, you're freezing up again. I think you're doing that intelligently,
I'm gonna
intentionally when you're talking about the
I'm gonna
budget.
turn my video off. Maybe that'll help.
Okay,
We're 177 less sick days than we were last year. So we're doing okay in that department. And we'll have a much better breakdown of the whole budget year next month for you.
it looks pretty good, especially the wage account. You probably can reconcile some of that if you happen to go over an overtime.
Right, that's exactly what we're going to be doing.
Any questions, Commissioner?
No, it looks good. Normally, we would have been expecting the budget to be at 91.6%. So 87.9 is very good. Thank you.
And as the chief pointed out, we have the month of June to look at in July, but I think we should be relatively in good shape.
Mhm.
Okay, if there's no further reports from the chief, assistant fire chief of administration. The Assistant Chief Conti.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Afternoon.
Nice to meet you, Tina. I wasn't at the meeting last time. I was out last week. So basically, we've got for the ESO for our records management upgrades, we're pretty much almost completely live at this point. Our fire marshal division, they're performing their inspections online with their iPads. We're working out the kinks. It seems to be going well. I have the initial training with the department's been done. I have all the officers trained in the new data, and I'm actually just spoke with Lieutenant Blake over at dispatch, and we're gonna set up a meeting and try to get them trained up and familiarized with everything. And we're gonna be switching our ENFR, our fires reporting. Right now, we're on target for July 1st. We're just gonna make a clean shift and start and discontinue Firehouse and start using this software. So everything's looking pretty good. We can continue to add the data in as we go. Some migrate a little bit more as we go. For communications, we're still working with the state, and I'm still working with the upgrade. Our templates being programmed. It's been a bit of you spent some lag time with the state. I think that they're a little overwhelmed. There's a lot of people switching over, so there's definitely a little bit of delays there, but it's working pretty well. We're really close to be upgrading the template, and I've been working with Lieutenant Blake, and we're still on target to making the full switch to the state system, hopefully by the end of this year, and everything which will be a huge upgrade for us. Our Purvis, our station alerting system, that's in Corporation Council right now, just being reviewed. So we're just waiting on that. They're reviewing the contract, which is great. We can start upgrading that as soon as that gets approved. Station 1, we're basically, I was there today, it's all finishing touches on everything. We're going to have truck 1 relocated back into their station for July 1st. So everything's working well. The contractor's done an outstanding job with what he had to work with. And we're pretty happy with the progress they've made, considering the amount of work that was done so quickly. As far as Station 3, I'm still waiting on the engineer. They're doing some engineering drawings on the floor, because that floor is going to have to get upgraded and lowered to accommodate for our newer apparatus, which is just larger. The roof installation, I attached the drawings. We contracted Gill & Gill. They did a great job, and we're looking at the complete roof installation now. We're going to replace the whole roof, including all the skylights that are on there. There's some like dead soil pipes. There's some dead, exhaust pipes that are just never got covered up. We're going to finally clean everything up that needs to be done, and it should be cleaned up properly and brought up to code as well. There's no walking, there's no fall protection on some of the things. So Gill & Gill did a really good job bringing everything up. So I'm just in the trying to get the whole package together so we can get an RFP and get some pricing. And the bathroom renovation, I'm still we're after we get the drawing for I get the bids in for the roof. We're going to start working on the drawing for the bathroom, renovate that. I have a plan already, so now we're going to try to implement and get some pricing on that.
Commissioner, any questions?
No questions. Good job.
Okay.
At some point, you're getting a lot of new equipment, which will increase your capabilities in a lot of different areas. At some point, I don't know if Commissioner DeStrews is in Greece or whether he's here, but once these are implemented, it might be nice for us to have a commission meeting where we can be briefed on and look at some of these things and kind of explain how they operate and how they're going to increase your operational efficiencies, make you more in line with the police and fire communications, et cetera. So there's a lot of money being invested.
Mhm.
We'd like to see the results.
Yeah, I agree, Mayor. That would be great. Because I'm actually the next step in that is we're replacing with IT. I've been working with Gabe from IT. We're getting new software for our mobile data terminals, and that's all going to tie everything together. So once I get this all together, it's really gonna, I also, that included with the GIS mapping, I've been working with Lindsay King on mapping. She's been outstanding. We now have the ability, we've got with the iPads now, we're going to start implementing where we have the GIS mapping with all the hydrants that we have right now, and they're able to now go out and in the field, confirm that there's a hydrant there or not, or move it to where it properly is. And she's going to then upload the data all in and basically plot every single hydrant. So we're going to have everything accurate now in the city and be able to constantly be accurate, which has always been the hardest issue, right?
Very nice. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we
Mr.
should
Meyer.
have,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
we should have our July commission meeting at Broad River. If the project is finished and they're out of the building.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think, yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I will be out of the country August 7th through October 20th.
Isn't that nice?
And we're with you.
The benefits of retirement.
Right? Okay, Assistant Fire Chief of Operations, Assistant Chief McCabe.
Okay, good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioner.
Good
Tina,
afternoon.
thanks for joining us today. Since our last meeting, the fire department participated in the escort procession from Sherwood Island to Betts Park for the Wall That Heals Vietnam Memorial. We were part of that ceremony and happy to be so. The 8 new probationary firefighters were assigned to their platoons after completing a week of training and familiarization. So they're all on shift, doing well so far. The truck committee traveled to the Seagrave vendor in Brewster, New York for the fitting out and placement of equipment on the new ladder truck. And that truck is scheduled to be delivered to us in the 3rd week of July. I met with King Industries personnel and Michelle to participate in a severe weather tabletop exercise down at King Industries, and instructed the lieutenants and captains on procedures for calling multiple alarms and mutual aid as part of our annual officers training. As for calls, for the month of May, we had 706 incidents, averaging 22.8 per day. We had 17 fires, including 3 building fires, 53 rescues, including 28 motor vehicle accidents with injuries, one of those involving extrication. We had 4 motor vehicle versus pedestrian and also 4 elevator rescues. We responded to 396 emergency medical responses, and 6 of those firefighters drove the ambulance. We had 41 hazardous conditions, including 16 gas leaks and spills and 13 electrical emergencies. We had 24 public assist service calls, 51 smoke scares, they were good intent, and 90 automatic alarms. So statistics from January 1st to May 31st, we have a total of 3,248 incidents and 5,123 runs. So that's up 503 incidents from last year, and it's up 797 runs. So once again, this month, our calls are up. Firefighters have been busy.
Where
As
do you
far as
see,
notable,
I'm
what's that?
sorry, where do you see most of the increase in calls for service? Are they medical calls or car fires?
The public service and assist calls
Yeah,
Yes,
across the board.
across the board.
Yeah,
We definitely saw a spike last month in fires, also motor vehicle accidents with injuries were way up. And, alarms have stayed pretty steady. So I would say it's across the board, the calls are up. It's not one particular category over another. It's just the calls for assistance right across the board have been up.
I find it extremely troubling about the number of wrong way accidents on the
Mhm.
interstate. I
Yeah,
mean, it's just mind boggling to imagine that somebody can go up the off ramp and come head on into another vehicle.
yeah. And I know that the accidents on the highway are also up regionally. As we talk to departments across the region, that call volume is up as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, our former communications manager, Josh Morgan, is now working for Condot.
Mhm.
And he was mentioning on Channel 12 the other day that they're going to be having some upgraded signage and equipment on the off ramps so that people know whether it's a flashing light, a blinking light, a siren of some sort, something to let people know before they get up on the highway that they're going in the wrong direction.
Okay, as far as notable incidents in May, May 9th, we had a container fire, which was a shipping container storing coils of plastic tubing that caught fire, causing extensive smoke and created a difficult fire to extinguish. Ultimately, truck two's ladder pipe was utilized to put that fire out, and that incident went to 2 alarms. On May 14th, we had a 3-alarm house fire at 7 Nelson Avenue, where tragically there was 1 fatality. I have included the narrative from our fire incident report in your commission notes, so I won't read through the entire thing. But since that fire, Platoon 4 firefighters have participated in a post-incident debriefing, and Deputy Chief Shea, who was the incident commander at that fire, has held an after-action review, which is standard procedure for all structure fires. Additionally, we had a fire at 49 Ferris Avenue that was confined to a basement apartment. And we had a vehicle extrication where we assisted the Rowayton Fire Department, where crews from Norwalk cut the roof posts and folded the roof back on itself to allow access to the patient, who was then transported to Norwalk Hospital. I can take any questions on any of those reports.
I'm just concerned how the firefighters who responded to Nelson Avenue are doing and making sure that they're getting the help that, or just the counseling or whatever else they need. We're making sure that they're getting it. It looks like that's happening.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely something that's on our minds, and we have a peer support committee within the department who have been reaching out to the individuals who were at that fire. And we've also had formal debriefing for them as well. So I think if anyone is in need of anything further, they know where to find those resources.
Very good.
Commissioner
Thank you.
DeStreuth?
No questions. Good job.
Okay, Fire Marshal Sawyer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome.
Good
to our
afternoon.
meeting. Right. For the month of May, we had 125 inspections, 5 notifications, 3 public education events, 27 plan reviews for $1,000, 10 liquor license for $650, for a total of $615 for the month. We did 6 fire investigations. We had 1 code / hazard issue, and a total of 7 investigations. And that's it. Any questions from anyone?
No, no questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
And are we still using the part-timers on a regular basis?
Yes, sir. We started Robert Bush. He started going out fully last Monday, and he jumped right in. He's going to be good. We are also looking at 2 or 3 more applications that we've got to vet, but we should have 1 more guy at some point down the road, hopefully by July. But I think he's a go-getter. He's definitely a go-getter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Emergency Management, Mr. Luca. The phrase of the month, you're on mute. That's a
After
new
2
word.
years, there's always one.
That's going to be a sentence in Webster's dictionary, not just a new word.
It's always one of these meetings. I do that. So again, as Assistant Chief McCabe mentioned, we did the severe weather tabletop at King Industries. I was actually able to put them in contact with Ralph Kolb at the wastewater treatment plant. So they're actually going to do 1 or 2 meetings together. The King folks going over to the wastewater treatment plant and vice versa. Really, again, just because of the proximity, they did not really know who to contact. So hopefully if they can connect, especially for storms and some of the monitoring, it will be helpful for both sides of the river for that. Wastewater treatment plant, around Suez, they are actually looking at doing some installations of weather stations at a few sites around the city. So I think we're looking at 5 sites. And those would all be networked. So rain, wind, the usual measurements, hoping to be able to get that up and running ideally before the peak of the hurricane season. But once they finish that, we'll have one here at the fire department. That will be really helpful for us. And then we can post some of the data online as well for residents. We did the state tabletop exercise last month. We kept it relatively small just because we weren't quite sure how that would go, since the state and weather service were running the exercise. But it was helpful and did bring up a few points. We also met with Altice yesterday as a region to talk about some of the storm response issues, and we'll meet with Frontier as well and do some of those follow-ups. And of course, working with Eversource and the utility companies. We do that on an ongoing basis. We do have the open house on October 1st. So looking forward to doing that again. And really, again, this time of year, it's a mix of heat safety and hurricane preparedness. So we do have the heat or summer safety spotlight up on the city's website for, again, extreme heat events. And should we have a tropical event over the summer, we'll switch that to the hurricane page and then back. So like I say, we're expecting a busier than normal season this year for hurricane season. And really, again, just looking at some of the preparedness items and again, adding some more resources to the city's webpage for preparedness. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Lipka. Commissioner DeStreusz, any questions? Apparently not. No.
I was,
That's okay.
sorry about that.
I saw your lips move. I've become quite a lip reader during the pandemic. I think I'm going to find as a hobby or something. Okay, thank you. Training Division report, Deputy Chief Markowitz.
Good afternoon, Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Mayor, Tina.
Good afternoon.
Over the past several weeks, the department ran through a pump operator refresher training course where we had all our drivers. We took several weeks and they went through and recertified on pump operating. We conducted the ESO company officer training with Assistant Chief Conti. Our rescue company conducted air strut stabilization training down at the training tower. We had a peer support debriefing after the Nelson Ave fire. We ran our 8 firefighters through our in-house new recruit academy. For the second time, we did that with the 12 recruits who we hired back in September. We conducted with the rescue company tree on a car training where we have a tree on top of a car. We go over the procedures for lifting the tree and rescuing a trapped occupant. We conducted high-rise pack and fire department connection training with our pump operators. Right now, we're in the process of conducting man overboard training with Marine Unit 238. All firefighters are going through that training. So if we have a man overboard or we have civilians in the water, how to get them out of the water most efficiently. And then we sent a couple of several firefighters down to the FDNY to an electrical emergency seminar a couple of weeks ago to go over electrical emergencies, manholes, down wires, and how to deal with them. I can answer any questions if you have any.
Commissioner?
No questions.
Probably just a question for anybody. What's our status now on staffing? How far are we down? I know you're going to be losing some more firefighters. in the next year or so.
We have 2 vacancies right now. We're down to 2 vacancies. And by the end of the year, we should be down another 8.
Are we,
So-
are we still getting, or looking at some laterals?
We are, and we keep getting people who are sending updates on their applications as to they've completed CPAT, or actually a couple have put themselves through the academy, this spring class. So the list is still current. Actually, we're talking about possibility of working out another maybe 4 more people, either in the September or in the spring class. We haven't decided that yet.
So
But
the
we want to
next
keep
class,
the list that we have.
the next class is September?
There's a fall class, which
And-
kind of
and
getting late.
You have seats in that class, or
No,
are there any vacancies that you know of, or can we get seats?
well, the problem is we have to overhire because we only have 2 vacancies right now. And if we were to send 4 people to the academy, we'd have to overhire by 2.
I just want to
Yep.
prepare for the end of the year when there's going to be 8.
Right.
Can I,
Yeah, the other consideration with that, whether we do something in the fall or in the spring, is just having put on 20 since last October. We would like to have them gain some experience and some training before we introduce more new personnel, just so that we don't tip the balance too far towards inexperience on the line. So I think it's still open for debate, but that was one consideration that we've discussed amongst the chiefs, is letting the current 20 gain some more experience before adding some more.
That makes a lot of sense. And for many years, you operated with 6 openings and backfilled with overtime when necessary. So, I mean, it's kind of like where you were before, except now 8. But okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Right.
What, 20 new people on the department, what is it, 142 or something?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
That's a good percentage.
one other suggestion was to maybe go after 2 more laterals in the fall.
Hmm.
That would bring us even until the end of the year.
all right, yeah, just keep us posted. I'm glad we were able to hire the 20 we did. Otherwise, you guys would be in a very difficult
so-
situation.
So far, everybody's working out very well. No complaints. The evaluations are coming back good. Adam could talk more about the probationary firefighters, but everybody so far is progressing, with really no issues to worry about.
Good, yeah, glad
Yes.
you're getting some quality people. Okay, any questions, Commissioner?
No questions.
Okay. there are
Actually,
no-
I did have one on training. Do you ever have opportunities to train on getting, rescuing a car on a tree? The reverse of a tree in a car. I've seen cars going airborne and, landing either leaning on a tree, but not on a tree. I don't know if that's a possibility. But anyway, I was just thinking of that as you were giving your report.
no, we did, last month, we had a car, one of the evolutions we did with the rescue company last month, we had a car on a Jersey barrier, which was upside down, which would be somewhat similar to what you're speaking of. Which is something you would see on I-95, a car rolls over and lands on a Jersey barrier, it's partially on the barrier. So that's the closest we've come to that.
Thank you.
Local 830, no items. Old business update on part-time fire inspectors. Okay, well, we kind of almost did that.
Yeah, well, just briefly, we hired Inspector Bob Bush on May 23rd. He started, like Roderick said, some in-house training, and then he started to do inspections already. We had to repost the position again because we only could find 1 candidate that was qualified. And this time we actually have 13 applicants.
Hmm.
And We actually are narrowing it down to about 3 people to have an interview. Broderick and I will interview them in a couple of weeks and hopefully get one good one out of those 3, because we're just looking for one more.
That's good.
There's no new business. There's a correspondence, a letter attached.
There's one letter attached, a thank you letter for a service EMS call from a young lady on Winnaquag Village. She fell down the stairs and broke her right foot, and we were very compassionate and caring for her, according to her own words. So she was very grateful that we were there to help her.
Yes, I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good job. And now, personnel.
So just to bring your attention, one of the fire inspectors is requesting it to enter into the drop. We have all the paperwork, and I will forward it to you, Mayor, for your signatures, and then Commissioner will get it over to you before you leave for Greece. And that should take care of the formalities of that.
Right, could you make sure you forward a copy to Ms. Vogel as well?
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. I don't know if she's familiar with our drop plan, but yeah, she's shaking her head. Yes, she probably is. Okay. So,
And we did talk
Okay.
about it when we met her. Mayor, you have any luck finding another commissioner?
I have one in the wings and
Good.
just waiting to bring him on.
Okay,
Right.
I'll get you his name as soon as I finalize the deal.
great.
Okay. Any other questions or comments, Commissioner?
No,
Seeing none, the time is 3:22. I'll accept a motion.
so moved
What's that motion?
to adjourn.
Okay. I just want to make sure we are on the same page. Okay, motion to adjourn at 3:20, now 3:33.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye, and we are adjourned. Thank you all.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Aye.
bye.
Bye.